Hey everybody, this is Chanchai. I am joining Akai's room, and fortunately nobody can hear this commentary yet. They might be able to if Akai joins the room. So let's do this. Let's do... Alright. So we're sparring with Silverbolt, and Silverbolt is having some frustrations. I think we're worried about him doing guard throw escape, whether he's actually... I'm worried about whether he's actually holding the throw escape. I think he's trying to react and do it. But also the flow of VF is a little tough. Hey, Akai, are you there? I think Akai's joined the room. I think I am on speakerphone, I hope. Alright, Akai, can you hear me okay? Let's see if Akai can hear me. I am on speakerphone, okay. So right now I'm applying the principles with... So right now, if he's not going to respond, then I'll do a delay. Good, good. So he's playing very patiently, so this is where we use throws, right? Now we use throws against someone who's playing patiently. And he doesn't want to see us do... There you go. Good. Alright, let's use throws. So we're going to use jab elbow now, especially for this pressure. This is the use of jab elbow, right? Jab is +2 on block, and then elbow is a 14-frame attack, which means they have to use a fast attack to stop this. Very good. 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 Using 9P is very good. Very good. So he's going to turtle up a lot, and we have to prepare for him turtling. But this is really good stuff. Love you, Arya. Very good. There we go. If you take showers soon, we can watch Secretary Kim. Hey, Akai, I don't know if you can hear me. I don't hear you at all, though. Probably microphone's muted. That's okay.
Hey, Chach, I actually was away from keyboard.
Okay.
I just came back just to make sure that they could hear you on my stream, and then.
Okay. Sure.
So I'm now back. So.
All right. So we had good sparring. I don't know offense stance that well, but I can at least illustrate what basics I'm applying. Silverbolt played that well. That said, I'll start to step up other application. But the good thing is, because Silverbolt plays more defensively, it means that like you have to use things more like jab elbow against them, and this is where we can illustrate where jab elbow works. Right, so jab elbow works because if they block, they're at -2. Now, of course, defense stance Vanessa does have a cool thing. So here I blocked the low punch, and then I basically did a low punch back, and that's a fine answer there. Now we just punish that. There we go. Good. There we go. So I did a jab into a throw right here. I stopped their attack, and then I figured their impulse was to defend, so I threw. I was too late there. Good. Good. They don't fall for this. And here's the thing. This elbow kick is very punishable. If you block this, you could PK her right away. You could do more than that, but you could do at least that. So here, when you block a low punch, then like an elbow is really strong answer. We call this elbow, even though it's a hook, it's a body blow. So Vanessa 6P at offense stance is a body blow. We call it an elbow because for most characters it is. So here I did elbow into delay kick. So that's an elbow kick follow-up, just because I figured that the off time is going to throw off Silverbolt. That's really good. Now I'm going to probably try to mix in 6K. It's a harder move to use, right? And right now I'm using poking basics to win these situations. And then we use the 9P to beat a low punch. Because I was just like, I think a low punch coming here, I'll 9P it. Now, the scary thing is the way that I'm using high jab, because high jab is plus on block. This is why this is why it gets very scrappy, right? I know that Silverbolt is using those situations, but I also know that like if I block the low punch and they try to use like the uppercut, which is a really fast attack, the jab will still beat it. Low punch would still beat it too.
Is this Dennis 0201 you talk
No.
about?
He's talking about Dennis because he watches me play Dennis at night. But yeah, Z9 is Sorensen, as you know.
Yeah, that Dennis. There's other Dennises too. So.
Yeah, there's Denkai, but I almost never get to fight Denkai. So.
You feel like you're fighting to crack defense.
Yep.
That's one part of the game of Virtua Fighter is that you're trying to beat the opponent's defense. So.
Like, you guys can see, I don't actually know how to play as Vanessa, but I'm using the basic tools just like this, right? And so here I made a read that he's going to defend once I low punch him, so I went in and threw him. So I did a low punch into throw, right? But then sometimes when I think they're going to spam, I'll low punch into attack, right? So I am just using the basic jab, elbow, throw. I'm going to switch stance when I can here. But it's okay. Very good. That's the way to use Jackie. I got to get good at this catch throw here, or hit throw, because this low kick goes into her throw. But the death sight is a really strong move to use if you block like a low punch, which is -4. You block like a side kick for sure. You hold forward and you do the death sight. That's pretty nasty. So now I'm not gonna do well against Akai, and that's okay. So it's good if Akai knocks me down here. But I'm gonna try. We're gonna scrap. Because we don't normally play Vanessa, but we're applying basics a lot.
Special high.
Yep, this is punishable, by the way, Kai. It's like -15, but I don't know how to punish with
Okay.
Vanessa. Like I said, I'm probably gonna get beat up by Akai because I don't know my options. Like I don't even know how to do damage with Vanessa.
Need
But
to be
yeah.
my option because she doesn't have her 14 safe 14 frame mid. That's my fake safe fast mid.
Yep. Very good. Use the uppercut there. We're gonna start abusing this move because it's like, oh, that's right. That's what I do with this move. 9P is a really stupidly good move. Very good.
As you guys can see, both me and Chan don't play Vanessa very much, so for the most part, we're just using very basic boxing in the for the most part.
This move is so mean, but you can always like ECD after it, but be aware of throw if they do that. If you do it too much, they'll throw you. But now, this technique I'm using, after elbow, if it's blocked, it's the same frame stats as a normal elbow. So if they block this body blow, I can do a crouch dash and fuzzy guard. Now, of course, I am vulnerable to low throw if that happens. But that fuzzy guard will defend against both throws and mids. And so that's the thing about standard Virtua Fighter elbows, and her body blow is a standard Virtua Fighter elbow. They give you a lot of reward if you can hit them on the crouch and if you can hit them on counter hit. But the main thing is that they're really safe and it's hard to crush. It's hard to you can't really hop attack it and you can't crouch under it. And that's why it's good. Like for a beginner it won't feel as good. But it's like you can do this and you can fuzzy guard, right? So this is a fuzzy guard. I crouch dash after it and they can't really do much aside from like low throw or do like a low attack. So if you see somebody doing this, if you block this body blow and you see them crouch dashing like that, you can do two standard answers and a third one. The two standard answers, low attack, which is not the best, delay throw is really good. And so that is like crouch dash into a throw. That's a really good option there. If you see them head bob after this, like this, right? So notice how I still block your mids, right? And it's really frustrating. So that's a delay throw is what gets me. If I'm doing that. If I'm not doing it, you do your standard responses. See? Yeah. So this is anti-fuzzy training. Now, so you can do low attack, you can do delay throw, which means you crouch dash into a throw, and then you'll time your throw to be with mine. Your crouch dash causes you to time the throw into when I'm guarding high, right? And then another option, a scary option, I think, is to low throw them if your character has a low throw. All right, we'll fight. Very nice. That's right. I'm the one at advantage. Don't evade there.
Hey, Nana, yes, indeed. We have two newbie Vanessas joining the army.
Yeah. Tonight is a Vanessa army. Okay, can you figure out what is the command for the grab from 2K plus G?
From offensive stance?
Yeah. Is it just PG? Because I can't get it with PG. I think it's a command.
I'm sure it's PG.
It might be half circle forward PG. So I was wondering if you can look it up, but it's okay.
I think this is PG.
Is it? Oh, my timing must be bad. Normally I used to hit this thing, but okay. It's fun though.
Counter hit.
It's got to be counter hit? Okay.
Counter hit, yes.
Damn. Okay. If it's got to be counter hit, that's why. Alright, we'll do Vanessa versus Chan Chai. And I'll take a break after this. So I didn't read the chat though, so okay. Okay.
I'll finish that Slayer. I have to learn how to deal with that. Like that stagger with that 13 feet mid.
Like so unnatural and using a character you don't know. You're just like, which option is it again? Which direction? Her the layout of her move list is a little different too, that's actually one of the things that always gets me about playing as her is that because she's got like lots of elbows or lots of knees or lots of kicks, the placement of the moves are a little different than I always expect. Now that we've conditioned that, now we've got a mix-up game here. You're like, no 9P for you.
No more 9P.
No more 9P.
9P is slow though,
It's really annoying. Yeah, just don't low. Yeah.
It has advantage on block, but it's slow too, right? So
yeah.
These advanced mission you should do like against it.
Called out the vid. It's a fun game to play. It's like, oh, I get to use this move now that people keep using against me. I should have gone for the throw. I didn't believe. Always go for the throw. It's just P plus G, really?
Yeah, it's like, a rhythm thing that with this attack wheels, right?
That's right. She has PP. Oh no, 6 PP.
Dead? Not yet.
You did a high. You did a high, that's the reason. I was like, this is where elbow wins.
Yeah, I've been using too much. I tried to go with 6P, but it's not as fast as I want it to be.
Oh, I see. It's still 14 frames. That's so fast.
I don't think it's 14 frames for 6P.
Her offense stance 6P is not her defense stance.
I was referring to her defense stance. I was using defense stance.
Okay.
Right, there goes finish the sentence. That's no way to
Nala, you can always help. We'd love to have you in the room. Yeah, LTE is low, lazy throw escape, but it should be. Press G. Okay. Very nice. That's right, I have advantage. I should not throw away my advantage. I'm not used to having a move like this. 9P is a cool move, but I gotta get used to the fact that I'm plus on it. ECD is like such a bad thing to do. I did it again. It's just like my reaction. Alright, low punch. Very cool. This 9P is just such a cool move to have. Neutral throw. Nice. Such a bad habit. Like, I like to ECDF. This kind of move, I keep feeling like I'm -2. It's like, no, I'm +2. +1, I think. But... Good. Very good. Good game, Silverbelt. That was a lot of fun. Alright. Oh, I'm really glad that Denkai gave you a Shun lesson, Nala. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's the game so fast. It's taking time to think of something that happened in the previous round. Well, Ring out.
Yes.
See, that's one advantage of offensive stance of simple launching attacks. Good guess when you think your opponent's going to blow you. Yeah, GG Silverbolt. Yeah, so like what Nana say, if you think one thing that lazy dual escape is difficult for now, there's other directions you could go work on. So like doing more damage off of combo stars is one way. Did you say it?
Good game. That was fun.
It was ridiculous.
So how did your session with Tricky go?
It went really well. Went really, really well. It's kind of funny. I think. Well, today we mostly played in a very more safe, like more risk managed way, and and I think she saw that I'd improved in playing that particular way, at least with Leon's form of it against Eileen. Then, but with what she's been doing in Tekken, I think she's now wanting to do on her side something. She didn't do it much today, but it's something that she was working towards the end, which is kind of like if the opponent is waiting a little more, like playing more patiently, or using slower moves. In either case, of like stepping outside of the safety realm of frames, which is something that like I do in VF a lot, but it's funny seeing her doing that now, right? And being inspired by Tekken to do that, because in Tekken at some point you have to reach out of the pool, because that game's safe play is very strong, right? And very much in that. So then you start using, when you start fighting people that are patient, start using like the frames that they're throwing away for your own use, you know, to have more powerful options. And so she's trying to do that more, but she didn't do that much today, except for like at the end of the session. But it's now, I think it's now implanted as an idea of something she wants to work on in her VF play, inspired by her Tekken play. But like I said, there are some players that already kind of do that. I do think that I tend to do that usually, right? I'm usually, if the opponent is hesitating, that's when you see me kind of start using bigger options, right? But she's trying to do it, of course, in a much more considerate way. But yeah, so it's interesting to see that. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun working on a lot of different options. I got a lot of conversions, and there's a lot of stuff I got to work on. So I had a wonderful time in the session.
And those who don't know, Chanchai does that on Tuesdays with Tricky. I think Tricky does that with different people also schedule.
Yep. Yeah. She added more people to her schedule. We had started this thing like in the fall, and then and she enjoyed doing that. So she opened her invites to other VF players to have sessions. Though nowadays the schedule's a little tricky. Is no pun intended. The schedule is trickier because she's working on. By the way, awesome to have Matthew in here.
Hey Matt, thanks for joining.
She's
If we get one more person, we wanted a little quick team battle.
Okay, sounds fun. Let's see here.
So did you watch James Chen? I think of Ultra Chen.
I did. I really enjoyed that. I shared that one a lot, and I like his angle on it. I'm not saying I agree with everything, but I really like the way he approaches that question. He's looking at what can VF do to still be VF, but basically that we have an issue of onboarding, and it's not so much like I agree with him that like yes, we have a good text-based tutorial. Not everybody learns that way. In fact, the gross minority of people learn that way, and that is his point. His point isn't that like that you know. So he'll say it as like that the tutorial's bad, but his point
it's the worst.
But
no one learns from the tutorial.
But technically it's true. If put it this way, if only 5% if 5% of the population learns for a certain way and 95% don't, that's bad. That's the point. That's why he says it's bad. I would say, like, is it a good text-based tutorial? Yes.
Okay,
it is a good text-based tutorial. It's just that text-based tutorials work about 5% of people, right? Like, you know. So.
I'll say this, Chad. I really hate when people like just throw in numbers where there's no facts to base them. Right?
Okay, you're right. You're right. How many people go to college? What percentage of people go to college? Or complete college? What percentage of people complete college?
I don't know. Do you?
Well, give me your best guess. I'm gonna let you take the best guess, and I'm gonna tell you it's still not a high number.
I can say I don't like to pull out number, but I don't know the answer to it.
Okay.
But one thing is,
I'm just saying his point is not a bad one, but I'm also saying that VF has a good tutorial. It's just that it doesn't, like, for those that read,
Let me finish.
it's really good if you
I'll
read.
just finish first, and
Yeah. And, okay, what I will say is this. I've had to re-explain everything that's in the tutorial to a lot of people because they don't read it, or they do read it and they don't remember it. And you tell me if that sounds reasonable. I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm saying that my premise, that a lot of people that I play with, that I teach VF, is very consistent. That many of them tried doing the tutorial. Many of them loved the tutorial. They agree. It's one of the best tutorials they've played on. Out of the people that I talk to, it's a very low sample that actually will bring up that point. Oh, there is that exercise you can do, because they actually did it, right? They actually did go, oh, you can do the throw escape sequence, right? There's a lot of people that say they like the tutorial, but they actually probably went 20 minutes into it.
do you mind let me use that one more sentence in now, chat?
Sure.
Okay. The tutorial, not everyone will learn from the tutorial. That is true, right? But saying it is the worst thing that's a little exaggerated.
I didn't say it's the worst thing. I said it's a good tutorial, but most people, it's ineffective. Saying that 5% is not a good number. Okay.
You spoke a lot. Let me finish my thoughts first, okay?
All right.
The person who spoke, it wasn't you. I never even say you were the one who said that. The person who said that was when James supposed to say that in his thing that no one learns from it. So I'm saying that is a little over exaggerated. Alright.
Okay.
Is there more? Everyone learns differently. Alright. And the tutorial is not gonna work for everybody. But so there.
I will say that it's okay.
Just let me get my thoughts through first, okay? Then you can continue whatever you want to say.
Well, I thought you just concluded it. Okay. I thought you just concluded it from what you said. So, yeah.
I have to repeat a couple of times just to make sure it's said. I understand.
Right. I'm just saying that, like, out of the people that I do teach, though, there's a lot that do try the tutorial. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm actually saying it's good. It's a good tutorial if you read it. If it processes it for you. If it works for you, right? Everyone has a different learning style. The problem is is that when it comes out to, like, how many people are learning from it versus not, right? Then that's tough. But I will say that the good thing is that in Virtua Fighter, a lot of the players that stick are the types where that tutorial works really well. There are a lot of types that do approach it as a discipline that you study, not just practice and play and fight, but as a discipline that you actively study the data. A lot of that crowd loves this game.
And that is where I'm saying, yes, when James mentioned that it's over-exaggerated.
I don't think it's over-exaggerating because I think the population doesn't reflect those people being in the majority. So I think his point is like, okay, if you're a developer, who are you targeting? Are you targeting the hardcore 20%, or are you targeting, like, the mass majority of people that buy and play a game? And do you think your group represents the majority? This is similar to, like, when someone asks a separate question to Tokido about what he thinks they should do in tournaments, right? 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5. And his answer was, well, I as a competitor like 3 out of 5. But if I'm thinking about tournaments and the fact that there's a lot of people that join them and I want a lot of people to join tournaments, I think 2 out of 3 is kind of better, because the people that are frankly not as good, like, feel really bad when they realize how bad they are in a 3 out of 5. They like the chance that they can win on the 2 out of 3, right? That was his answer, and that was because he was trying to think broadly instead of just what the competitor wants. But that doesn't mean he's right. It's just opinion and perspective and about what are our goals, So that's all. But I think VF has a really good tutorial, text-based tutorial. But I also would say that teaching this game is hard in any form you pick at it, and I love doing it, and you love doing it, I think, too. And I think sometimes it has to be, some people it's more interactive. Some people it's like, let's repeat and do drills, right? some people, and I think what James is trying to say, and of course his method of saying it is very abrasive. I think he's trying to say is we're playing an interactive medium, and in his point of view, other games do the whole we like, yes, we know that people don't like it when you flat out tutorial or stop the game to teach, but we do like it when we play a game like Hollow Knight, where as you play it, for some magical reason, as you play Hollow Knight, you may kind of figure out how to play this game better just from the level design. And so he was approaching, now he went extreme, and he's saying he would like VF to be that way. He would like it like an open ranking mode, right, where you're learning as you play. And I understand what he's saying. I'm saying that's a really hard thing to do, my opinion. But I think that's what he's saying. Now that's a big dream, of course, and is it feasible? That's really hard to imagine because nobody's really done that, right? Tekken tries to do it with the Arcade Quest, and Street Fighter does World Tour, and that is like the most bizarre mode. Anyways, I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk now. But that does. Sorry for hijacking the air. And, anyways, go ahead and add to your points. Flesh out on that if you like. And I'm sorry to interrupt you too much.
It's okay. It's good. I actually don't find James that abrasive. I actually enjoy listening to that. It's just.
Well, I'm saying it out loud like it's bad, right? That's the abrasive part, right? That's the part that triggers a response because now you're on the defensive. Because now a player like me might be on the defensive and say, well, hey, it's not that bad, right? But and then my abrasive part is saying, well, okay, the reason he's saying it's bad is because I make up a fake number, and I know you don't like that fake number, but I'm also like, okay, well, just to exaggerate a point that most people, we're not saying like even half, we're saying most people, more than half, are probably not the type to read a full tutorial. Like, they might read it to a degree, but like how much they get from it is actually not much.
So, yeah. I think we all can agree. Everyone learns differently.
Yes. Yes.
The more variety of ways available, would be best.
100%. I definitely want a text reference. I definitely want frame data. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
But I think even James mentioned in his podcast, it's really difficult to make a very good way to learn to play the game right. Because the least amount of effort is just like what you would say, a text. That's the easiest way to get information out and to let people learn. But it's also a very difficult way for like a good portion of people might not be able to learn from just reading text.
Okay. Silverbolt, no problem. Play the way that's working for you, of course. And I don't want to force you into frustration. I'm playing it because I'm having fun trying this out with you guys. But I do think Silverbolt gave a fantastic point. It's like there is such a thing as on-the-job training because people don't pick up everything from reading or watching. Most learn from doing, and I would have to agree with that from my experience. But yeah, then again, similar interview. Chris O'Tarian interviewed Justin Wong, right? And did you ever watch that interview? Because Justin Wong, basically he said that his family was broke, so he would go to Chinatown Fair and just sit there and watch, and he just learned from, he's a player who learned from watching. Not many people can do this, right? But he has the skill where he learns from watching, so he just kind of with the few quarters he has, goes onto a machine to show a friend like how to do something if they don't know how to do it. But a lot of time he was just watching, and then he kind of knows like what's going to work and not work. But like Silverbolt says, in my experience, most people do have trouble, like on the job, for example, like learning the job from reading or from watching. A lot of people just do much better by doing it and through repetition. But I do want many different material to exist for the many different ways of learning. And I think fighting games have been exciting because of more different ways of learning, right? whether it's on the wikis or the. I love VFDC, of course. I like VFDC more than the in-game tutorial, but the in-game tutorial, and then YouTube, and then streaming, and then Discord of all things, right? But the Discord learning has been cool. The Tekken community shows me how many people are learning on privately shared Excel spreadsheets. You know. So yeah. I do want to give some credit to Silverbolt. I know a lot of times words can resonate differently online, and Silverbolt definitely expresses irritation and things that bother them. But I also look at it as at the end of the day, Silverbolt shows up all the comes in there diligently and fights and hangs in there despite that. Now, I'll admit that the atmosphere can change with those words, and I think we're all kind of sensitive to that. But I also think that, to Silverbolt's credit, though, Silverbolt, that's why I really point out how I do like that Silverbolt hangs in there, keeps on fighting, and keeps playing, and keeps learning. So, want to kind of give credit to that. But I also, but I will say, yes, it does affect the atmosphere a bit. but it's similar to Juicebox. Juicebox is a player who traditionally can get very angry. But Juicebox also, I've seen Juicebox so many times just overcome the thing that frustrated them, and reassess and go back into the lab even on stream and watch what was the thing that upset them. So I want to give credit to the people that are able to process maybe more vocally than I would their frustration, but also keep pushing and keep fighting. So. But you and I are also doing our best to help people get to that next step too. So. I do want to ask Silverbolt. You are holding the throw escape, right? You're not trying to just tech it on reaction. Are you trying to escape throws as a reaction to the throw, or when you think they're going to do it, or are you making it just a natural part of your guard whenever you guard, all the time while guarding? If you guard for 5 seconds, are you doing a throw escape for 5 seconds? Because you can do a throw escape for 10 seconds or 30 seconds.
From the Twitch chat earlier, he mentions basically it's a muscle memory. So if he, if I do a punch, most likely what's happening is I do a punch, I get counter hits, I go for my neutral throw against him.
Yeah.
He might be pressing the guard in time, but he's a little slow to get that punch in afterwards.
Gotcha.
And so there's that part which is just muscle memory.
Right.
Which is just something that learns as time goes by, and everyone learns differently. So
all right, well, to that point, what I would say is that understand we're not even telling you to think about throw escape when you guard. I mean, that's the words we use. What we're really trying to say is, instead of guarding, do a guard throw escape. Totally erase regular guarding from your memory and replace it totally with every single time you don't have a guard, you have a guard throw escape. Anytime that you're blocking, you have a guard throw escape. That you're not just pressing guard and then thinking of the throw escape. That you're only thinking that throw escape is always built into your guard. And so when you can practice this against the CPU, you can practice against the AI, but it is muscle memory, as Akai says. But it is completely occupying the same space in your mind as a guard is. It's a guard throw escape. That there is no reason to ever... There's almost never a reason to just hold guard. That anytime that you're trying to block, it is a guard throw escape. Because there's no reason not to do that in this game. Except for, when we're buffering or doing, guard cancel. Sorry, go ahead.
No problem.
And I love that we've got Matthew in here. We got Nala's Shun in here. It's wonderful.
Oh, we got 6 people. It's just do Ace 1 team battle.
Right, Nala brought up a good point. They said they drop guard from trying to do lazy throw escape a lot. Like, so if they really want to block, sometimes they're afraid to doing the guard throw escape because they feel it causes them to drop the guard. That's an interesting point. I guess I'm fortunate I haven't had to deal with that necessarily. Usually I'm just more worried about that I didn't do the throw escape. But that's a really good point, and it's good for us to know that that is an experience, especially with somebody that has practiced so hard, just like has practiced as well as anybody in this room has. So yeah. King of Fighters looks so much fun. Sorensen brought up King of Fighters, and I think it's really fun. That game, it's got such like a active rhythm that's what's so fun about that game. If you try to piano too hard, that can be something. But yeah, you can piano it slowly. Even guard throw escape can actually be pianoed a little slowly. Meaning guard, it doesn't have to be like boom, boom, right? It can be like boom, boom, and that'll still work. And then the only thing you have to change if you think that you guessed the throw wrong, you keep holding it. You don't have to change that thing except for the direction that you're pressing. You know, because I switch from neutral throw escape to forward throw escape to back throw escape a lot. And actually, when I play offline, it'll look like I'm stagger breaking when I'm doing a throw escape, because in offline play, if people are side by side, they can actually see the lever. They can see like what you're doing. So there's some fun play with that. But throw escape usually is not something people watch and focus on. It's just that at the higher levels of play, some people can see it on their peripheral vision, and I've seen them. I've kind of observed them doing that, so then I kind of just learned to just switch up a little. I do think how you input your buttons. I know that Silverbolt originally played on pad, and so when you're playing on pad, you can be used to macros, you can be used to alternate layouts, and then when you move to stick, you might feel like you want to move to an alternate layout. I really do recommend the standard arcade layout, though, which is unless you have disabilities in your hands.
Just using the standard layout.
Yeah, and so the standard arcade layout is, if we're going to use the punch kick notation, like square is like punch 1 and X is like kick 1, okay, then the thumb is on guard on the standard arcade layout, and the index finger is on punch, and the middle finger is on kick. And this layout, specifically for VF, to me is very comfortable because the pianoing isn't too hard. It doesn't stress your middle finger or your ring finger much. Old American layouts and Korean layouts do like to use a more straight layout, but the Japanese layout, the default arcade layout in the game, and as it plays on most sticks, encourages you to use your thumb on guard and use your index finger on punch and your middle finger on kick. And I find this to be the most ergonomic. And I've used many different layouts. I used to use American layout as well, but I have grown to find that the Japanese layout is the most comfortable. My hands are actually pretty bad shape nowadays for other reasons, but I can play Virtua Fighter 7 hours straight no problem to my hands. But other activities are more taxing on my hands. And part of that is muscle memory, but a big part of it's because the ergonomic layout is very comfortable, and VF only needs 3 fingers. Or 3 fingers for 3 buttons is really great on this game. But especially thumb on guard, once you get used to the thumb being on guard, because of the alternating between P and G, but also 6 and G, the way that this game likes to play, I just find this layout to be very ergonomic, very comfortable, very relaxed. I don't have to stress my hands as much. But if I do the American or the Korean layout, which might have the index finger on guard, and then punch is middle finger, and then kick is on ring finger, that one can be very stressful when you do certain techniques. It can actually make my ring finger feel a little stressed. So that's just my feedback, though. Everyone teach their own, of course. And everybody's ergonomics are a little different. I will 100% agree on that, too.
Yeah, Silverbolt uses this GPK, I believe, on his joystick that he's playing right now. And I think he said that he feels the buttons feels a lot better than the pad. But the direction using the joysticks is what he's having most trouble with.
Okay. And that's most people's experience going from pad to stick, so that's good, right? At least it's not something that's out of the ordinary, right? It's a lot of people take a few months to learn stick. It's one of those things that everyone forgets to talk about, is that every input device on a fighting game has a learning curve. To go from stick to pad takes quite a while, and pad to stick just the same. And of course, anything to all button controllers, because it can be counterintuitive, is quite a leap for, like, really takes a lot of time for a lot of people. Not everyone, but for a lot of people. Though it is natural for people that were playing on keyboard, because the all button layout is designed after the keyboard layout, with like space being a jump button. The sense that the moves are slower in offense stance, it makes some sense, but it is a trade-off. But generally they're fast. Generally they are fast for VF. It's just that, you know, Vanessa does have some interesting disruptive moves in her defense stance, and those disruptive moves are the exception. They're not the rule. They're like in the 5%. They break the normal conventions of Virtua Fighter. And that's why you feel very comfortable using them, because they will win situations that other attacks will not win. And so now the challenge of learning offense stance is learning what I would call more standard situations.
I didn't even know that as a taunt, so
Yeah.
If I'm naive and ignorant, it doesn't bother me then, right? But
Yeah.
you told me,
Yeah, well, that's like the teabag thing. Like, I'm used to people doing movement options like at the end of the round, so it never bothered me. But then other people are like, they're teabagging it, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know.
I've been accused of teabagging so much. So there's a thing that I want to do with Pi, was like when I'm mid range and long range. It was something I tried to do about a year ago, which I was going to do a lot of basically holding guard and crouching a lot.
Right.
Because I'm
Yeah.
in my scoop. But for in my scoop, or just to ignore it, am I actually going to go for my launcher, or am I going defense? So I'm just trying to pick people out. That was my goal of trying to do it. But then I've been accused of teabagging because of it. And so I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do it. But then I was like, well, I really should do that, because I think it was a good strategy to